This episode brought to you by
Audible. Hey, Audible.
audibletrial.com/horrorvirgin for 30 days free and a book to get you started. For your book recommendation, Jen.
Yes, today I am recommending Nosferatu by Joe Hill. It is a delightful and heartwarming, maybe Christmas story. And that's spelled NOS4A2 also, like the license plate.
Okay. So check it out on Audible at audibletrial.com/horrorvirgin for 30 days free and a book to get you started. This episode also brought to you by Nick B.
Hey, Nick B.
So who's got a fun fact about Nick B this week?
I do.
What is it?
Okay. Thank you for asking.
I know his grandkids have been in town, and one of them is going through the terrible twos, so it's been rough for him the past few days.
Fuck you
I've been there.
much.
Oh, was that it? Was that your fun fact? Holy shit. I usurped your fun fact. Was that really your fun fact? Holy shit, that's amazing. Well, Nick B, I'm so sorry you're having to play that grandfatherly role with your, I'm sure, adorable grandkids.
Yeah, it'll be worth it someday.
It will.
Yeah.
Spoil them, give them lots of sugar immediately before you give them back to your kids.
And babysit a lot so their parents can go do fun stuff too.
Yes.
Spoken like someone with kids.
Right. Someone who wants to go see some movies.
This episode also brought to you by Rebecca.
All right. Who wants eye contact?
Ooh, especially when you say it that way, it's Todd.
Jen, I don't think you want it this week.
Oh, geez.
She doesn't want it any week,
Does
Mikey.
anyone
Well,
want it
usually
this
my-
week then?
And Mikey, I take it reluctantly.
Oh, God. This is too much. But this pickup line is a bit much. So I don't think I could look at Jen anyway because I would feel really weird.
Right
and
here,
bad.
look deep, look
Okay.
deep.
Face the scorn, Mike.
It's a Christmas one. Are you guys ready?
Do it.
Hi, Rebecca. Are you looking for a tree topper? Because I've been told I'm a star on top.
Jen, it's a sex one.
Oh, I get it. I'm just glad. I thought it was going to have something to do with some fluids topping your tree. So
Well, if you want something that's not fluids topping your hair tree, go to Rebecca's Etsy store at Straight On Tell Disney, where you can get yourself some sexy Disney ears.
some very awesome Disney ears
Yes.
with no weird scandalousness.
Right.
Or
Scandalous.
they're scandalous.
Yeah.
She does custom job.
Counterpoint, wear one while you make a tape. This episode also brought to you by Michael.
Michael!
So Michael's the one that wants insults, right?
Yes. Michael has been going to malls.
Oh, yeah?
Thank you. This is supposed to be a conversational story.
The podcast medium is a conversational one, Todd.
And he goes and finds young children.
What?
I don't like where this is going.
It tells them that Santa's not real.
Oh,
Well,
why?
first off, if your kids are in the car, Santa is real.
Yeah, he is. And he's watching
Why
it
would
right
he lie
now.
to them like that?
Why
He's
would-
lying to them because he was always on the bad list.
Oh, I get it. He always got coal.
If he doesn't get presents, nobody gets presents.
Yeah, that's what
That's
it is.
right, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Michael, that's a real D-bag thing to do, my
I
man.
know.
He hates children is what I heard.
Oh, why?
Those are different things. Always being on the naughty list and just hating kids are different things.
Why not both?
There might be a little overlap.
Why not both?
Well, Michael, that's sort of shitty of you, so maybe stop doing that. Santa definitely exists. Winky blinky. This episode also brought to you by
Matthew. Hey, Matthew.
Matthew.
And Matthew's like a legit hero.
He is.
This story goes places.
Oh, God.
So he, Santa's sleigh couldn't go out because of the blizzard or whatever.
Right, that was last week.
Was it?
Oh, God.
It wasn't last week. It was 2 days ago.
Anyway, yada, yada, yada. He had to cut off a reindeer's nose and put on a light bulb nose.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, Rudolph's origin story is
It's real
Matthew had to cut his nose off and replace it with a cybernetic implant.
Oh.
So he's not only a hero, he's a reindeer surgeon?
Yeah.
I mean,
All right,
surgeon, the word surgeon, I feel like, is being used a little loosely.
Plastic surgeon, excuse me. He gave a fucking reindeer a cybernetic rhinoplasty.
Ding, 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 ding.
Well, thank you, Matthew, for cybernetically enhancing Rudolph's nose to help Santa's sleigh get through on Christmas Eve. This episode also brought to you by Cody Roy.
Hey, Cody Roy.
So Cody is a time cop.
That is well established, yes.
So I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Time Cop. So So Cody Roy's also a one-upper.
Yep.
Especially around Christmas time.
Aw.
He's like Michael Scott buying that iPod for the Secret Santa.
Oh my God.
Anyway, he goes back to the birth of Jesus.
Why?
Why?
He was the third wise man.
What?
Yeah, there was frankincense, myrrh, and he actually went back.
Well, those weren't their names.
I don't know.
They had frankincense and they had myrrh.
Right, as their gifts, which are,
It wasn't Frank and
essential
Merlin.
oils or whatever they are.
Yeah, that's what they are.
Then Cody Roy, he went and stole some Confederate gold and brought it to the birth of Jesus.
Why?
Well, it's in the movie Time Cop.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
That does make sense. It all checks out then.
But also to one up the other wise men.
Well, that's awesome, Cody Roy. Glad you were able to one up both of the wise men. I'm sure they hated you.
Yeah, Frank and Merlin are pissed.
Frank and Merlin? Is that their names?
That's their nicknames.
Holy shit, I love it. All right. This episode also brought to you by
Red Mappin'. Hey, Red.
All right, Red Mappin', he wants us to do weird fears, Jen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a big fear of like sticking his hand in Christmas stockings.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I get that. Especially after watching like Arachnophobia. Like that would terrify me.
There might be a mousetrap in there, too.
Well, something about his childhood. I don't really listen to what the people say.
Oh.
Aren't you a therapist? That is terrifying.
I'm a therapist, not his therapist.
Yeah, guys, my pro tip on fixing that specific phobia is just to turn out all the stocking. Just dump it out and then turn it out.
See, I think exposure therapy. Just jam your hands into as many stockings as you can find.
Jam every extremity into a stocking.
What do you think the scariest thing to find in a stocking would be?
A dick.
That's true. That checks out.
Yeah.
Step one, you cut a hole in your stocking.
Yeah, step 2, you put your junk in that stocking. This episode also brought to you by
Ryan.
Ryan. You know what time it is, Jen.
I know. I don't like
It's
to
time
be mean.
to be mean.
But look, Ryan likes to send you Christmas presents, and he uses an entire fucking roll of tape all over those Christmas presents, and it drives me fucking
I love
insane.
doing that to people. It's awesome.
No, it's terrible.
It is awesome. They
I've gotten
can't open
presents
it.
from my mother-in-law where I've had to take knives and cut them along every single fucking scene, only to find more tape inside the box.
Oh, your mother-in-law hates you.
She actually does.
Counterpoint.
Make a tape.
It's hard to wrap gifts.
So Ryan, why would you do that? He's wasting tape.
He doesn't know how to rap.
That's what it is.
Trust me.
Let's teach him.
All the tape in your house is getting really sticky on the wrapping paper in the presents and the picky.
Oh my God, Mikey, I can't believe how hard you're shaking your head right now.
It's a Christmas miracle. So just go with it.
Oh my God.
Listeners, our album will be dropping sometime in 2020.
Yes.
dropped in the trash.
Jeez. So I heard a report that there's a bunch of naked old theme musics running through the woods.
Oh my God.
Attacking the podloft.
We need to lure them with a bunch of children to a reindeer sanctuary.
Don't worry.
Who flies a helicopter?
I've kidnapped 30 children.
I believe it. I've heard your
Over there.
It's called Get Real Water. We use eco-friendly, recycled, BPA-free plastic. That's great.
Oh,
But
that
if
means
you-
it's filtered through trash.
I drink Fiji water. You drink squeegee water.
Whoa. Welcome to the Horror Virgin, everyone. I am Jen, and I have been slowly poisoning Todd's water over the course of 85 episodes.
I'm Mikey, and I guess I'm accessory after the fact.
And I'm the victim, Todd. So this week, you guys made me watch the 2010 Finnish Rare Export.
That's right.
Yeah, it's our first subtitled movie ever.
It is. And we survived.
Yeah, we survived it. We made it through, Mikey.
I'm really excited you guys would watch this with me.
Yeah, it was bonkers.
Yeah.
But if you ever wondered, hey, can a kid over the course of a movie go from being a boy to being not a man, an elven slave trader? The answer is yes.
A Rambo-themed urban slave trader.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we watched that movie,
We
Mikey.
did. Also, if you ever wondered what it looks like if Christopher Nolan rebooted the Santa Claus legend, this is it.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like Chris Nolan's Red and White Knight, Jen. So what this movie is a Finnish, gritty, if Santa was real and real mean movie.
And hated children.
Yes.
Hated children.
And was giant.
I think he just hates naughty children.
Yeah, you're right.
But he holds everyone to a really high standard.
It is.
does.
He has a high bar. So you've clearly seen this before, Mikey.
Yes.
Yeah, Jen and I haven't. So what'd
Yeah.
you think about it today, Jen?
I really enjoyed it. I wish I'd seen a little more Santa carnage.
Yes.
And a little less old elf dong. But I did really enjoy it. I thought it was fun.
I finally found something.
That's amazing. I'm surprised you liked it as much. That's amazing. The thing I hated most about this movie was the very real look at what's going to happen to my body as I age. So that was a little terrifying. Mikey, how do you feel about it?
Don't move to a snowy climate, Todd. You'll be fine.
That skinny when I'm older, good for me.
Oh, there were some fat elves.
There were.
Yeah.
And some fat with a PH elves.
Yeah, bad with a pH.
I didn't hate all the old elf dong.
And I'll just say this, some of them were very cold and some of them were not cold at all.
Yeah.
So now that we've summed up the movie, do you guys want to get into it?
I guess so.
Let's get into this fucking movie, guys.
I guess so. We got 24 days till we talk about the movie. And we start with 24 days till Christmas.
Yeah.
And all of us questioning whether or not we understood Finnish.
Yeah. Well, because you guys told me it was subtitled, and then the first scene there, it's just two dudes speaking in English. So I was like, holy shit, did I learn Finnish for this movie?
Well, what I like about films not from America is that usually America are the bad guys.
Yeah.
English
Just like
speakers.
everywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
They have a realistic view of Americans.
This guy did kind of remind me of a mix between Scrooge McDuck and is it John Hammond from Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Spared no expense on these exports.
the movie opens. It's a rich old
It's Scrooge McHammond.
Scrooge McHammond.
I don't know if
and
that's going to stick.
Oh, it's going to stick, Jen.
head driller.
Yeah, head driller.
Yeah, and they're like on top
I had
of
a girlfriend like that in high school.
Oh,
She was like a dental hygienist.
gross. There are two guys in an office on a mountain, and they're talking about some devious plan to like open a park filled with Santas or something.
No, he's not John Hamm.
No, sorry.
No.
Sorry, I'm getting my movies
This is
mixed
not
up.
this is not Santa Park.
This is not Michael Crichton reboots the Santa Claus franchise.
Ice core samples with like elf candy canes to like redo their DNA.
There is none of that going on. No. But one of them who is like, I guess like the head driller, right? Oh God, I just heard it. So yeah, anyway, so he shakes out like sawdust, right? And then Scrooge McHammond is like, this is excellent or whatever. Do you know what they use sawdust for? It was for packing
ice
large
or
things of
something?
ice. I had no
Yeah.
idea what that whole thing was about, but
That doesn't make any sense.
He's also given a lot of Christmas shame too, though. He's like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Christmas time.
it is.
Act like
Well,
it.
he's doing that because he knows that they found Santa and Santa will kill anyone who is not good. So he's like, follow these rules. And it's like, no swearing, wash behind your ears or whatever. And the head driller is like, these are ridiculous. These are real funny. And then Scrooge McHammond grabs him by the ear and yells at him. At first, I thought he was checking behind his ears to
I
make
did
sure they were
too.
clean. But no, his face has got soot and stuff all
Yeah.
over it.
Well, I mean, he's a minor.
Oh, I thought you meant a child. Sorry. No, he is. He is a minor. You're right. Yeah, like a classic profession minor.
So
Yeah.
everyone, basically, this is basically the thing if the thing is Santa Claus.
I have heard that.
This
about
is
that.
my Christmas thing,
Oh,
which is also a pickup line.
this is my Christmas thing. Is not a pickup.
You just wrap your dick like a candy cane.
You got to put a candy cane on it. All right.
so then we go outside,
yeah,
right?
they found something in the ice, and we thought for a minute it might be Baby Yoda because it's wrapped up in a blanket, and they're looking at it like it's the cutest thing ever.
He is caressing it very
Yeah.
lovingly.
Yeah, he has like this sheath of ice thing, but we never
Yeah.
see what's inside it, do we?
No, we don't. But what we see is him holding it right in front of his face and like breathing hot air on it, like he's going to melt this fantastic ice.
I thought he was going to get his tongue stuck to
that
it.
would have been amazing.
What I wanted from this scene was a candy cane encased in ice.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been
If we
funny.
could have seen what was in the ice and it was something like that, that's like a nod to Santa Claus,
Right.
that would
Jingle
have been
bell.
amazing.
A jingle bell.
A jingle bell would have
would've
worked
been
too.
great.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but we don't see any of that shit. But he
No.
then does get on top of the like summit of the mountain to give a speech to all these miners.
I thought he was going to get deep blue seed.
Yeah, he
also.
looked like he was going to fall off the
Like
mountain or something.
Santa Claus
Yeah.
would have just jumped up and like bitten it. That would not have been super out of place.
No, it wouldn't.
Well, that's why this is when we talked about how this was like Chris Nolan's Christmas movie because all the shots are very like artistic and dark.
Yeah.
and, like
Uh-huh.
super serious.
Well, you can see like 5 other mountains behind him. 'cause
Yeah.
they shot this on top of a mountain and or a green screen.
Or just I don't know, Finland.
Or
Yeah.
Finland, yeah.
Good call. Anyway, so Scrooge McHammond is giving this speech to all the miners about what they're doing. It's a burial site. We're going to dig it up.
Got
I hope you
24
guys have all been
days.
good. Yeah, you got 24 days to grave rob, right?
Yeah, that's what he says. His dream from when he was a child is about to come true.
That's right. And then cut to what, Jen?
2 kids, and they are peering over and they're watching this whole thing, and then they go out through a hole in a fence.
That they cut with their
They did. It was step 1.
What are these kids' names? Yeah.
It's Pietari and Juso.
And Juso?
Atari is like playing Atari with your penis.
I'm out of that. I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah. It gets your controller sticky.
I mean, I was semi-pro.
I've heard. Let's call him Pietari.
Let's call the other one Mullet.
Oh,
I've
that's
called him,
fair.
I called him Butt Kiss in my notes.
Butt kiss?
That's the kid's name
from Salute Your Shorts.
Oh, wow. I actually have never seen that.
Thanks,
What?
Hannah.
Yeah, I never saw
What?
That. That was on Nickelodeon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was poor and we couldn't afford anything that wasn't broadcast over the air that you couldn't pick up on.
Did you guys just carve scenes into your wood paneling?
Oh, Mikey sat in his house just counting his money and rolling around in piles,
I was like, you know what I'm doing this Christmas?
staring at white walls.
Paying men in another country to excavate Santa Claus.
So Pietari and Juice go through the hole they cut and jump on their snowmobiles.
Yeah, and it just piece the fuck out of
Yeah,
there.
they leave.
Yeah.
This movie takes place in a rural village in Finland.
Yeah, in
Yes.
Finland.
So they don't even have they only get in cars like twice. But like most people travel by snowmobile. It's covered in
it's covered in
snow.
snow. Yeah, you could easily.
It's really pretty.
Yeah, and the sun sets every 4 hours.
Right.
Yeah. It comes up every 30 minutes after that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems very quick.
It comes up at appropriate times in the plot.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But they're also really close to Russia, we find out.
Are they though?
I think this might be around the border because they're talking about the border. But they're talking about how this whole Christmas thing is not real and whether Santa Claus is dead and have our parents been lying to us this whole time. And he's starting to lose his faith.
Yeah.
Just for a heads up, Finland is literally right next to Russia. Like their biggest border is with Russia.
Yeah, so I think they're on the border. Because when they were trying to hunt the reindeer, I think they were trying to catch them before they went into Russia.
Yeah, St.
okay.
Petersburg is like very close to Finland. And
Gotcha.
St. Petersburg is one of the bigger Russian cities.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so now we get the library montage of researching Santa Claus.
Which is also the credits, right?
It was,
Right.
yeah.
Which I love that because we are going to sort of fast forward through any sort of montage scene, right? So they just do it while the credits are going.
Smart.
Nailed it with the credits. Well done.
It was a
Like-
pretty good montage scene, too.
It was,
There were
yeah.
lots of pictures.
Because Pietara,
Well, so
Pietari.
Pietara, he learns that
Pietari.
real Santa's buried in the mountain when he's listening to the guy.
Yes.
And then Juice tells him his dad is actually the Santa he thinks is real. So he's like, well, what's real Santa like? So he researches in the book that Santa's a fucking murderer.
Yeah,
he
he's
like
terrible.
boils kids
Yeah.
and spanks them.
Yeah.
He has giant horns. That's why he wears a Santa's hat.
Yeah.
Dude, that blew my mind a little bit. It's like this whole time?
And it makes sense.
Santa?
You never see him without that hat on.
You don't.
He's hiding his horns.
And that's
guys.
how it stays on with him, like moving around so much.
Yeah.
All right, so it's one day till Christmas, and now we see a guy who we're going to find out is Pietari's father. He's making a hole with big stakes sticking up, kind of
like
like,
a
in
wolf trap.
Goonies. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a wolf trap.
Yeah, and he's literally hanging like a pig's head
With an
over
apple
it.
in
Yeah.
it.
With an apple in it, which are illegal in, that,
Yes.
in Finland, I
We
guess.
find
Well, I guess we find out later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it could have killed anyone. So, yeah, I can see why.
Well,
And it
did.
almost killed an elf.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Pietari's father has quite a journey in this film.
he does.
He does.
Yes.
Because
All the men do.
We'll get there, but like they go to some dark places so quick.
There's so many naked old elves.
Jen, you say all the men do, but that's because there are no women in
Yeah.
this whole movie.
There's one time we see a woman, and I think we see some girl children
And
for
listen,
like 20
They
seconds.
wave off camera.
Right.
And listen, I get Rare Exports. It's a great name, but they need some feminine imports to this movie.
The sequel is actually titled Seven Brides for Seven Santas.
Also, during the 24 days between his research and now, he's been very paranoid about Santa coming to murder his
Yeah.
family.
He has set traps around the house.
Yeah.
He has taped his butt shut.
For getting spanked
Yeah, for
by
getting
switches
spanked.
by
Yeah.
Santa.
No, I don't think he's in the armor yet.
I don't
okay,
think he's
then
in the
never
armor,
mind,
but
never
mind.
he's
No, but
got like a
he's-
system of booby traps.
Yeah, he's done something outside where he's like with lights and stuff, and
I think he just hung Christmas lights.
I think he's got bells on his
Oh, okay, I
window.
didn't see that. Okay.
And he's sleeping on a stack of suitcases so he can look out the window, and if he drops a key, it'll fall in a bowl and wake him up. Unless he is hindered by a sweater, which is spoilers. So he's real paranoid. He
He
is
is.
not excited about Christmas.
I wouldn't say he's paranoid because he actually is appropriately scared.
That's true.
right?
Yeah.
Because he's the only one that knows what's about to happen. So everyone else is crazy.
That's
Mikey.
a coincidence. Even a broken dick o'clock is right twice a day.
I'm sorry, what was that?
He's trying to tape the door shut on his nativity calendar, too. Like, that's going to stop the passage of time.
Oh, he literally staples it closed.
He does. That's not how time works.
No.
So now he goes out to the garage, sans pants, to talk to his dad.
Yeah,
He's just wearing a Christmas sweater and like whitey tighties that are blue.
this drives me
shoes.
insane.
He took
Because why are you gonna? I get sleeping
Because
in
his
your
mom's
underwear. That's
dead
fine.
and like they have no idea how to live.
wow, wow. Okay.
I mean, I feel like that's
Wow.
probably partly true. But yeah, but he took
The hurt
time.
runs deep.
He
Sorry.
took the time to put shoes on, but not pants.
And no one closes the door in Finland. Like
Yeah.
snow's all over the ground. It is below freezing. Everyone's door is open.
Yeah.
That's insane.
But there are no bugs to get in.
Well, all the bugs are dead,
'Cause
but
they're
it's still
frozen.
fucking freezing.
That's
They
true.
don't close the door. Maybe that's true. That honestly could be true.
They're like cold Rambos.
Not yet, they're not.
No, they're not. But they're going to
And
be.
there's no mom. There's just no mom to say,
There
close
are
the
no
door.
moms.
You're tracking snow all over my floor.
Right.
There are no moms anywhere in town.
Yeah.
Everyone has been divorced or their wife is dead.
Well, they do talk about a wife. We just don't see them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyways.
so he goes sans pants to talk to his dad.
And the dad is hacking the shit out of a big pig.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he's a butcher.
Yeah, they're like butchers, right?
They're farmers.
Yes.
Farmers of meat.
No, butchers would not raise the meat. They would just butcher it. Like a butcher shop.
Oh, I got the impression that the whole town raised the reindeer or whatever, and then that he was specifically the butcher.
I kinda think so,
That's
yeah.
why he had the facility to do butchering.
The
the other
Dexter
guy-
style
the other
murder
guy
room.
carved some stuff up too. They're very outdoorsy people.
They are.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's just say they all live on full functioning snow farm meat farms.
Yeah.
Snow farm.
Snow meat farms.
Yeah.
Smeat farms.
Meat farms.
All right. So, but the kid is going in and he's afraid to look because he doesn't want to see this pig carcass and he's closing his eyes. But they're talking about this roundup that they're going to go on later. And I thought, because I read a little bit of this description, that they were going to try to round up a bunch of Santa Clauses. And that's kind of what happens. But so now they're snowmobiling off into a.
They're going to the roundup.
They are.
Yeah.
They're going to the roundup and it's like the rest of the town is there. This is the only time we see women throughout the rest of this film.
Really?
It is.
I
Yeah.
didn't see any of them.
Those 3 seconds they waved.
Oh my God.
And let's just say, I don't really have a problem with that. I feel like the story functions fine without having women. And it's kind of like The Thing, too. Like, I would rather them just not have women in the story rather than, like, shoehorn in some stereotypical female characters.
Yeah, I don't
you know?
think it begs for them, except
It
for
doesn't.
maybe some pants on a child. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, so it's
I think one of the themes of the movie is them that the father and son getting over the mom's like working through the mom's death.
but yeah, I think it's about like men like working together and like learning to trust each other. You know, yeah, I see that, and so it doesn't really bother me that there aren't women there, but it is notable.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's not like they're on a base; they're in a functioning town, and we just don't see any women.
Functioning's a strong word.
Dude, they're about to have the biggest Santa slave trade in Finland.
In the history of the
That's
world.
right. All right.
Well, yeah.
So they've got this big electrified pin, and so I think what's happening is they're about to round up a bunch of reindeer.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're literally about to go out with their snowmobiles and round up a bunch of reindeer and run them into an electrified snow pin.
Yeah, to corral them. Yeah. But only 1 or 2 reindeer come. And they're like, what the fuck? Where are all the reindeer? And I think what they were going to do is like sell the reindeer as not necessarily meat, but like delightful reindeer Christmas pets.
They were going to sell them as meat.
No.
Yeah, that's what you got, right,
After-
Mikey?
I got the
Yeah.
thing right.
After Christmas pets, though. I'm going to pretend that they were going to use them as Christmas pets.
Maybe a little column A, a little column B.
Delicious Christmas pets. I mean, I've never eaten reindeer, but I'm sure it's a thing you eat. They're
And
like
it is.
deer, and I've had venison, right?
But I also think like there would be like there are places in the world that would want to buy reindeer.
yeah, they're called zoos.
But
Right,
over in Finland,
or-
they call it venison.
Venison?
All right. So they go to investigate why all these reindeer are dead.
Right.
And they find out why because all the reindeer are like torn open, laying on the snow, bleeding.
And it doesn't look like they've been eaten by wolves. It looks
No.
like they've been murdered.
Right.
Yeah.
No, they were eaten. They were eaten.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like they were eaten by wolves because a wolf would eat like everything and like their bones and like carcasses
Yeah.
would be like more exposed.
Right.
It looks like they were like punched and then everything was pulled out through a smaller opening.
Like eviscerated.
Yeah.
I got you. But
Yeah.
it's and they're all murdered next to the Russian border.
Yeah.
And where the excavators are.
Right, and they find the hole that Pietara and Juice went through to go check out Spy Mountain or whatever.
Right.
it's
And they're
called.
like, this hole was made with pliers.
Not with wolf teeth.
And Pietara's like, we need to tell them that we did that. We killed all the reindeer
And
accidentally.
Juice is
Right.
like, I swear by my mullet that I'll kill you if you do.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck about Santa.
And then all the adults were like, oh, the blasting on the mountain. Oh, because they're blowing shit up on the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It scared all the wolves into Finland.
Yeah.
It's a Russian invasion.
A Russian wolf invasion.
Yes.
And honestly, it's neither. I mean, none of that's actually happening.
No,
It's-
no.
Yeah.
It's the elves, right?
It's Santa Claus and his elves.
Right.
Because he's seen footprints on his outside his window, and he's also seen footprints under these reindeer carcasses too.
Right.
We think
Of
they're
bare
Santa.
feet.
Yeah, bare
Yeah.
footprints, which is honestly super ominous in this cold weather.
Yeah.
Like,
So now it is sundown, and they go to a yellow house across the Russian border to investigate what's
well, that's
going
the
on.
house at the top of the hill. That's
Yeah.
where the Scrooge McHammond was up there with the head excavator guy.
Right.
That's where that first scene took place in.
And so they're looking around, but there's nobody there. It's deserted.
Oh, and everybody has guns.
Yes, everybody in this town has
Even
guns.
Juice and Pitara.
But they find a gigantic hole out back of this yellow house. And they're looking down. It's like an excavation hole, and they throw a flare into it, and it goes all the way down.
It literally just doesn't stop.
No, it doesn't.
He even says, well, so much for that plan.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't see where it landed.
Right. So what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Instead of steal all the equipment and sell it.
Holy shit. Santa Claus in this movie is the Balrog.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
We dug too deep.
Yes. And we found something too evil.
Fly the children, you fool!
Oh, my God. And they do fly the children. Oh, my God. Well, we figured it out, guys.
We did.
We'll
Wrap
see
it
you
up,
next
boy.
week.
All right. So then they go home.
Yeah, they do go home.
Yeah. Now we see Pietari is wearing his homemade armor, which is kind of sweet.
It's like hockey pads and a hockey helmet, but he also has cardboard around his butt.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because in the books, Santa beat them with sticks on their asses.
That's true.
Right, like spanked them.
Switches.
Yeah.
He
Right.
does say spanked quite a few times.
Yes, he does. Almost like it's a fetish of his.
So he's showing Juice, aka Buttkiss, how to all of his research.
I love how we're struggling to say Pietara or whatever his name is, but we're just like, fuck the other guy. His name
Right.
is Juice.
Jen's like, we can't ruin the sanctity of his Finnish name. That fucking kid with the mullet, though.
Juice.
Juice.
His name is Juice.
Butt kiss.
I can't wait till we get to the character named Purple Stuff.
Sunny D. All right. So he's showing Juice his Santa Claus
Right.
research. Yeah. And he's saying that the Sandmite people got angry and lured him into the ice, and he fell through, and basically Santa got trapped in this ice,
Yes.
and they buried it, and that became this mountain.
Yeah, they put like a shitload of rocks around it. Well, because they dug him out first, right?
Yeah.
They dug him out and moved him like to just a hill, and they put like a mountain on top of
Yeah.
it, more or
Right.
less.
And then they decorated that mountain with little like colorful like globes, and they put like a star at the very top.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
It's a crazy.
it's a Christmas tree metaphor, Mikey. Yeah.
You got it.
There's
Hello, my baby.
There's a train that goes around it.
Right.
There is, yeah.
Right. So yeah, Juice is talking to Pietara about like all his research, and Juice is like, "No, you're stupid. None of this
Yeah.
is true." And Pietara is like, "Well, we need to tell them that we were the ones that cut the hole in the
Right.
fence."
And then you better shut your goddamn mouth right now.
Juice gets up and goes, "I swear by my mullet," as he's choking his cheeks, not his throat. Like he grabs his cheeks and squeezes them as he's yelling at him. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Also, childhood bullying is a lot scary when everyone has rifles.
Oh
True.
yeah,
But Pietari has got his armor on, so he's okay.
he does.
Yeah, he's safe.
Yeah, and they decide not to tell the adults that they cut the hole in the
yes,
fence.
Pietari decides not to tell.
Right, after
Yes,
being threatened by Juice.
after under no pressure at all.
But his mullet's so big, he could definitely beat me up.
He could strangle me with that mullet. And he staple guns his 24th day door.
Yeah, that's when he
Advent
staples his Advent calendar day closed for Christmas Eve.
And his advent calendar suck. There's not even chocolate or anything in there.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, the biggest Advent calendar later in the movie has a Santa behind it.
It does.
I mean,
And
true.
manhood. So the next thing we see is Pietari having a really sad dinner with his dad.
Yeah. And his
there's-
dad is clearly going through some stuff.
Yes,
I
yeah.
got the impression this is like his first or second Christmas without his wife.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're talking about gingerbread, and he said,
Yeah.
this is pretty good.
Just like Mommy used to make.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which makes him single tier a little
And
bit
his
and stare
dad
off.
slowly lights the Christmas candles, which it seems like he was trying to do the traditions he used to. But
Right.
you can see the dad slowly dying inside the whole time, and the kid
Yeah.
doesn't know how to take it. The dad has a single tear, and then he's like, "You need to go upstairs now."
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, I can understand. I bet that's really hard to have all of these traditions,
Yeah.
and then you don't have that person in your life anymore, but you still try to go on with your life.
I mean, yeah, he built a family and traditions with his wife, and his
Right.
wife, I guess, died. I don't think they really talked
They
about
don't,
it, but
yeah.
I'm assuming died because he seems like a good guy. Why would you divorce that?
This is a deep movie. There's a lot of subtext. Well, he also puts a roast in the oven tonight.
He
for
does.
Christmas
The dad
morning.
does. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And sets no kind of timer for it.
No.
Well, he's just gonna go for sunrise.
Oh, yeah. He's just going to
very
take it out when he
unreliable
stops
this movie.
crying.
He definitely does the witch. Like, I can't deal with my feelings. I need you to separate from me immediately. son."
Right. Because his kid is asking for comfort from his dad, and he's saying, what if I disappeared? Or what if I didn't
yeah.
exist? And he says, you should disappear
To bed.
to your bed.
To bed, yeah,
Worst
yeah.
thing to say.
He wasn't like, I want you to die, kid.
No, but he
so I
also
can move on
didn't
with my
say.
life.
He also doesn't say I love you.
Right,
you
that's
know?
true. Yeah.
Right.
I would be sad if you disappeared. I know we're having a hard Christmas right now, but we're
Right.
going to get through it together.
Here's why I like this movie, because
This part is why you like this movie?
This part sets up a dichotomy where Pietari
Nice.
is able to, he is a sensitive young man who's feeling feelings.
Right.
And there's a gap between him and his father because his dad believes he needs to shut all his feelings down and be like man. And they have separated because he's like, Pietari is not shutting down his emotions. He's not. They separate until Pietari becomes Rambo and was like, my feelings have led me here. You're a little bitch, Dad.
Problem solved.
Oh.
I think he may have projected some stuff. Yeah, onto this movie.
That's why it doesn't quite work for me.
Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying. I think they lay the groundwork for that, but I don't think they totally.
I think they nailed it.
I also think the dad does sort of show emotion because he's crying in front of his kid. So
He's like that single.
yeah, he does the Denzel.
Yeah, he's like, go to bed.
He doesn't yell at him, but yeah, he does send him to bed. And this is where we see him sitting up, looking out his window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got his keys in his hand and they're going to fall in this bowl and wake him up. But what he did not count on was the thread of his plan unraveling. Also, the thread of his sweater.
This is also the scene where, right before the dinner scene with his dad, when he closes the front door, we see the keys are in the outside of the front door. And then we see those keys auto-magically in his hand, but also automatically tied up by his sweater. So when he drops it, it just unravels his sweater and doesn't make a loud sound.
Wow, this is the thing in the movie you're going to like go crazy over?
No, I just think it's weird.
I mean, if you want to unravel a sweater,
Just pull this thread as I walk away. As I walk away.
I have left my keys in the front door.
I am sure you have, yes.
This is a Mikey movie.
I have a Weezer parody. It's almost Christmas. Elves will soon be naked. Running through the snow. Running through the snow. It's Santa Claus. Woo!
Oh, dear God.
I love Weezer. All right, so it's back to the Russians.
I don't think they're Russians. I think they're Americans.
Or I think they're British, maybe.
No, they're
Americans.
They're speaking American.
There's an American
They're
passport.
speaking English with an.
There's a passport that says the
He's
United
right.
States
There
of
is an
America.
American passport. He's right.
They're evil.
Who else works with Russia?
Well, it's definitely just Republicans. So they're on this mountain.
They're they're coal miners.
He had to find coal jobs somewhere, Mikey.
That joke's fire.
Ooh. Okay, so we're back to evil Americans, and they're talking about the cargo.
They're not super evil. They got paid to do this.
Well, that's true,
And like no one got hurt except they all died.
they all died.
A lot of them got hurt.
But like they didn't maliciously do something.
It's Christmas karma. Yeah. So back to these evil people, and they're standing outside of this cargo bay, and it's snowing, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
And then we see a bunch of hard hats rolling towards him and naked old feet on the snow.
Oh, God. That actually was pretty ominous.
Yeah,
like, there's a
it
lot of,
was.
like, I wouldn't say it's super scary, but there's a lot of, like, cool moments in this movie.
There are. Because now it's, bam, one day till Christmas.
Yeah. It's like an insane jump in time.
It is. And what I love about this plot is ridiculous, but they are playing it like it's the most serious thing in the world.
Yeah. Everyone plays it super straight, which is why it's so good.
I think so,
I think
too.
if they'd hammed it up, it wouldn't have been as
It would have
fun.
been like Hot Shots. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this movie's super serious. It's the best.
Yeah.
It kind of is. Yeah, I like it. So then he almost kills his dad with a giant bear trap that he's left in the chimney to try to catch Santa Claus.
Oh, my God.
It's Christmas morning.
Yes.
He's burnt the roast.
The
He's
dad has.
defeated. And he goes like, I'll just start the fire. I can do one thing right. Throws a log in. Fireplace almost explodes.
But I thought someone jumped down it.
It was Mary Poppins.
Yeah,
revenge.
absolutely. So the kid runs down with his shotgun and like starts pointing it at the fireplace.
Right.
And the dad's like, stand behind me. I'm going to bring a chair.
Right. The most deadly weapon in Finland.
the most deadly seated device ever.
So now, after the chimney chair debacle is resolved.
Well, they find out it was a bear trap that Pietara put in there to kill anyone who tried to jump in their house through the chimney.
Yeah, and then Peter Tara's dad's like, you almost killed me.
Right. Not cool, Peter.
Not cool.
Also, why are you still pointing that gun at me?
Yeah, put the gun down.
Put it
No
down.
ice skating today.
Right.
You're grounded on Christmas.
But so now Pietari goes outside to pee.
Yes, because he has to wee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He does say that. And they hear a noise, and that's when they realize that something has fallen down into this Goonies trap that they laid for
Yeah, I'm not
wolves.
sure if he
No,
heard
he
a
did-
noise or he just saw that the pig's head was gone.
Yeah, he you said the bait's gone. But
Yes.
also, why is there no bathroom in this house?
Yo, that is the best point ever.
Where do they poo?
Maybe there is a bathroom. Maybe they just have the ability and the privilege to pee standing up outside, and so they take it whenever they can.
Are you angry at us or at God?
I don't know. Like, you think with no mom in the house, they're just like, I'm peeing outside and no one's here to even
Right?
talk about it.
Would you guys not do that?
I would 100% want to pee in the warm house
that's true.
instead of peeing in the freezing cold just for size reasons.
Okay, hear me out. Hear me
But
out.
say you had a huge dick.
I would definitely pee in front of everybody.
Hear me out here.
Write your name all over.
Your mom's dead.
What?
Like, maybe the only bonding they have is they take turns going outside and they draw different drawings with their pee in the snow.
No.
And that's like their one
Not like
bonding.
this. Not like this way.
Don't
And
cross
so
the
like
street.
the
Not like
dad
this.
comes out and like he's like, oh, Pitari, you did a smiley face.
Oh, and then he like puts a little like bow on the smiley face.
But the eyes and mouth are connected. Like,
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to stop the stream?
You gotta practice.
You need to do some practicing.
Clench those muscles.
Got to do some kegels.
So
Gross.
they find out that there's something in this Goonies pit, and
Yes.
he's digging down, and then we only see like a hand, and then he like gets Pietari away so he doesn't see the horror.
Yeah, we see bloody spears and then
One's red,
right, and then,
one's green, and one has a star on top of it. And one of them is striped red and green.
and this is where the dad's like true heart comes out. Because like he thinks he's accidentally murdered a guy.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
get in the fucking house.
Yeah.
You're grounded. Yeah.
No, you can't look.
Right.
And then eventually he does take them both back into the house. And then they're eating gingerbread. And he's like, you can't see it until you're done with the gingerbread. And he's like, so I'll finish this. And then I can go see it. And he just like loads his plate up with more gingerbread. Because he doesn't know what to do. Like,
Right.
I do feel like at this point the dad's like, holy fuck, I just killed somebody.
And it's Christmas.
I've
Just
got to
killed
call.
Santa Claus on Christmas.
I've got to call my best friend to make sure he's involved in this too.
Yes, while wearing Santa Claus clothes. That's important.
So he calls a bearded guy.
I called
don't
him
know
Ear
his
Man.
name. I don't know any of their names because their names are.
We'll call him Flamecopter.
Yeah, we'll call him Flamecopter because this guy can do everything.
And he's got red hair, but we don't realize he's a pilot until he just knows how to fly.
He's
all
the
the
universal
planes.
pilot.
So he calls his friend who is dressed up like
Santa Claus.
So
Yeah.
he's like Santa Flamecopter. And the next thing we see, he like tells Pietara to stay in the house. And then like Pietara looks out the window and then we see both of them dragging a tarp full of a dead body
Right.
into the butcher shop, which is not something you want to see your dad and dad's best friend doing.
Not on
Todd's like,
Christmas.
What is this movie?
I know. I literally looked at you and said that. I was like, what is happening right now? So they go into the butcher shop and they like lay him down on the table. Lay him down on the
a
table.
bed of Christmas.
Yeah.
But
he
it's
looks like a skinny, old, homeless.
He does look pretty rough.
he looks like he's experiencing homelessness.
Yes.
Yes. And he is laid
And
on the
death.
table. And yeah, well, he's been stabbed. So it's like his
Yeah.
torso's bloody.
He's bloody and he's been stabbed by like 4 spears.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he fell in the Goonies pit.
That's right.
He didn't have that little crab hand thing to save him.
So they're having this conversation. The dad and the Flamecopter guy are having this conversation of, well, what are we going to do? And the Flamecopter's like, I don't know, man. I only have an hour.
We should
so
call somebody.
I
Right,
should
because I got to
go."
be Santa for the entire village.
right.
So we got to cut
Yeah.
this body up real quick.
And they decide to mutilate this corpse.
And the
They
friend was
do.
like, I don't think we should do that. And then his dad was like, you're in it now.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
in
your
this.
fingerprints are all over that
You're at
Santa.
least an accessory after the fact, sir. You help me move the body.
Which is such a dick move.
He said,
It
this
is
is
a
all
dick
I want
move.
for Christmas.
I'm 100% sure I'm going to get a call like this from Mikey.
Yeah.
And he's going to be like, hey, can you help me move this carpet?
I'm like, hey, catch. And it's like an arm. And like, now you're in it.
I'm going to go over to your house. You're going to be like, help me move this rolled up carpet. Oh, it's a little lumpy. Let's get it to your truck.
Yeah.
And then now I've moved a dead body.
Yeah. You just got to burn Mikey's house down.
Mikey, let's burn your house down.
It's insured.
Sounds like a clean start to me. So yeah, they're about to demember this body. And
Whoa,
then
whoa. That doesn't mean like cut his dick off, right?
I mean, it sort of does.
I mean, kind of. Dismember, I think, is the word you're thinking
dismember.
of.
Yeah,
Okay.
dismember.
Demember is when you cut a dick off.
Okay.
It's step one.
They're so close. And that's putting the hole in the box.
sorry.
Yeah. They're about to use the butchering devices to cut off his arm.
Yeah.
At this point I thought it was Santa Claus that they caught. Did you guys think it was Santa
I did
Claus?
too, yeah.
Mikey, you had seen it before, but when you first saw it, did you think it was Santa Claus too?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I was like, shit, they're about to cut off Santa Claus' arm. And then he moves his arm back and I was like, oh, it's still alive.
Right.
And so they do too. And I like how they check to see if he's breathing. breathing, they take that knife and put it in front of his nose, and he's like, oh my God, it's like fogging it up. He's still breathing.
Yeah. Also, here's what we're going to do to you, Santa.
I know.
Yeah, the friend's like, oh, this guy's he lives through anything.
Yeah. They don't decide not to cut him up, although I guess they don't, but it's like, oh shit.
I think they decide not to cut him
No,
up.
because Pietari looks through the window.
He does.
He does.
And then Santa wakes up.
Smells children.
I think he was smelling the gingerbread. Do you think he was smelling the kid?
No, he's smelling the kid.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that makes
And the
this even
gingerbread.
weird.
It kind of does. But before Pietari goes and sees his father trying to dismember a body, he's investigating this Goonies pit, and he finds a sack.
Oh, that's
with
right.
the creepiest wooden boy in it that I've ever seen. It's like a wooden, horrifying kid with like hair on it.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
It looks like if the Blair Witch had made like more effort.
Yeah, so Pietari goes from the pit to
The window.
to look in. He sees two grown men over a dead body debating whether to cut it
One
up.
of them dressed like Santa Claus.
One of them dressed like Santa
Yeah.
Claus.
And he runs off.
Yeah,
and
Pietari's
flags.
smart. He just sprints.
He gets the fuck out of there.
And the dad's like, fuck, he saw us.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you think he saw? And he's like, I don't know. He's running away from you. So what do you think he saw?
Right, and we're cutting up a body.
Yeah.
And so he flags down the cops.
Oh, that's right. Because the dad runs to his Jeep and chases after him, but by the time he gets to the road, Pietara's like getting in a cop Jeep.
Right. And we find out some strange stuff has been going on.
Oh, you think?
I'm sorry. We find out some strange stuff has been going on in the rest of the town.
Right. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Because this is where we find out that Juice is missing. And also Juice's dad, who I guess runs the potato farm part of the town, he had a break-in and all of the potato sacks were taken.
That's right, but none of the potatoes.
Right.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Well, I like that shot because we look in and it's like a barn full of just like potatoes.
Right.
All over the place.
All the radiators were stolen and the hairdryer.
That's right. So a lot of things have been stolen throughout town. So a shitload of radiators, a hairdryer,
This is the only other mention of a woman because this guy's like, my wife's hairdryer was stolen.
My wife's hairdryer.
We
They
never see
also
his wife.
stole my wife's Farrah Fawcett hairspray.
Right.
You guys don't understand. This is actually just the village where American Woman in London was.
Is that one
Just
woman?
one woman.
No.
These are all her children.
So Juso is not in his bed.
Yeah, Pietari goes up there. He's like, I need to go talk to him.
Yeah, and we find out it's one of those creepy wooden boys up there.
Yeah, it's tucked
Yes.
into bed, real
Yeah.
creepy style.
All right, so back in the murder room, and the guy's still breathing, but he's got a big hole in his stomach, and he keeps sniffing and smelling things. And so the dude is trying, Flamecopter's trying to give him gingerbread, and he gets up real close, and he's gonna like put his ear right next to him. Oh, he starts whispering
He
something.
starts whispering.
Yeah.
Bring me children, and then bites the fuck out of Flamecopter's
Yeah, he
ear.
bites Flamecopter's ear. Although it doesn't bite it off because he still has the
Right.
ear. But he definitely does Mike Tyson his ear.
He does, yeah.
yeah.
When I ask someone to be my girlfriend, I also whisper in their ear, bring me children.
Mikey, just for you, I'm going to go and cut that.
Also, at some point, they found a passport on Santa Claus.
Yes.
An American passport that said his name was Brian Austin Green.
Yeah, this is how we know they're Americans.
It's
Yeah.
Green Brian Johnson, but yes, that was Brian Austin Green's father.
Right.
Yeah.
Last name, not the
And
same.
they're like, he's only 50, but he looks real old.
Yeah.
Now they're back in the murder room, and dude's saying, "Look at my ear. This guy's not human. He bit my fucking ear off."
Yeah.
and he's crouched up in a little like murder room
creepy as
chimney
shit.
It's
area.
yeah,
and
it's so
naked.
gross.
Yeah, it's gross. He's like a golem with a long beard.
This part we should tell you, there's a lot of old man dick in this
Yeah,
movie.
This
because he
is-
stands up and you're like, oh, okay, this is the one shot we're going to see old man Dick.
but you would
and
be
then
wrong.
you pretty much see old man Dick the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it's almost like everybody in this town asked for old man dick for Christmas, and they were all very good.
And Santa delivers. Yeah.
He was ready to go, man.
Oh, man.
Ooh. All right, but we don't see his dick yet because he's still
Shucks.
he's
Wow.
still huddled down.
Right.
And looking real creepy too.
Real creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A naked old skinny man who looks like he's experiencing homelessness.
Right.
Like crunched down is very
He's covered with
ominous.
soot.
Yeah.
He
And
is.
blood.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's coal. So we got Flamecopter, we've got the dad, and we've got Buckus's dad.
Yes.
Who speaks English.
He does.
And they're trying to figure out what to do with this old grandpa.
And the kid's in there
the
now.
kids,
Right.
yeah.
And they think that old grandpa speaks English because he's American. So
Right.
they're talking to him in English, but he does not respond.
Well, then they're
Right.
like, we'll hold him hostage.
Yeah, let's poke him with a stick.
He does. He hits him with a squeegee.
Uh-huh. And
Yeah.
he says, "Wake up, Grandpa, we need money."
Yeah. Well, so the dad is like, tell him about the kidnapping plot. So the guy's like, and the guy's a pretty intimidating American voice, but not Finnish voice. So he's like, oh, okay, I will try to tell him about the thing. And he's like, we're going to fuck you up till they give us money.
Give us our Christmas present.
We will hurt you.
Yeah.
And then he goes
Fuck
back, he's
you,
like,
I can't can't open it till after midnight.
And he turns back to Peter Pan. He's like, I don't know if I can do this. This is really scary. He's like, no, threaten him more. We will cut your hands off.
He literally says, my friend's going to ask you a question now, and he doesn't speak English. Like, what does that mean?
And then cut to evil old Santa Claus just hanging from some kind of chain tarp contraption.
Yeah, because they tie him up.
Yeah.
No, but he starts following the kid around.
Like sniffing.
Yeah, and so they get closer with a pole, and Santa bites the pole in two.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shows his own pole to him in a matter of defense.
So they're like, tie his ass up.
and they do.
Yeah, and he's just like it's like mistletoe or something. He's like hanging in this like
It's incredibly
contraption.
creepy.
It is super
It really is
creepy.
because he's just got this look. He's like staring evilly at them, not moving.
He looks like he's in complete control of that room, but he's
Right.
tied up and swinging back and forth.
Yeah.
It is super ominous. It's a great shot.
He's in
man.
like
really
a
is.
body bag and chains.
Yeah, it's
Eating
amazing.
style.
And they're all now on the naughty list.
Yeah.
All right. So Pietari, but meanwhile, Pietari is calling all of his friends in the village and like checking through their list.
All four of them.
And then he checks it twice and he realizes that they are all gone.
Because they've all been naughty, not nice.
They have, exactly.
Right. But this is where Pietara puts together that he is the only child left in town because all of the kids have been taken.
Right. And so Pietari comes in, and we're telling this a little bit out of order, but yeah, Pietari says, this is the original Santa.
Right.
Right. And none of them laugh their asses off at him for that ridiculous thing because they all have just bought into the premise of this movie. And I actually really like that because then it moves the plot forward. You know?
Yeah, they're on board.
But now he goes out and talks to the dad and he confesses that he cut the hole in the fence as step one.
I need you to beat me because I've been
Yeah,
bad.
I need you to spank me. Here's a switch. And I think he's confessing because he doesn't want to be on the naughty list.
Right. He's
too.
afraid of getting snatched up.
Right, because all the other kids
It
are
makes
gone.
sense.
It does. Yeah, he's smart. So yeah, Santa's just swinging around, and they hear a radio, and it
Yeah.
equals Scrooge McHammond. I'm not sure if it's actually him. No,
think
it is
it
him.
is.
Or it's
He's
one of-
asking about the cargo.
Yeah.
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 Because he's trying to find Santa. He wants Santa, right?
Right.
The Finnish population understands that they have something that he wants. So they're like, we're
Right.
going to put him in a cage
Right.
and sell him back
Right.
to him.
And the value of all the reindeer that got slaughtered were $85,000.
right.
Right. Mhm.
Plus 20% VAT.
So now,
Whatever that is.
So they're on the radio with John Hammond. They're like, we have your Santa and we want $85,000.
how bad do you want him?
Yeah.
He said you've been real naughty this year. All right, so they've set up this whole Santa ransom plot, and they got to lean into it though. Also, they're tired of looking at naked Santa, so they give Flamecopter's Santa suit to this old Santa dude.
Yeah, they make him dress up like Santa and they put him in a cage in the back
Right.
of a pickup truck.
And then they drive that pickup truck to, I guess, what is more or less just an airport? Like
Yeah,
an
it's
airport
like a
hangar,
landing
and, yeah.
place. Yeah, that's where the Santa shed is.
It definitely is an airport because there's a hangar there, but it's like
Right.
a regional airport. It's not like a international airport. There's like 8 hangars and a runway, and that's it. And the runway is covered in snow, so you can't see it.
Right. It's an
Right.
evil airport.
It is.
Yeah.
But we don't even know if it's a runway because it's
don't.
covered in snow.
It's just covered in snow. Yeah.
Right. There's no way to know.
Oh my God, that was amazing. All right, nailed it.
All right. Okay. So while they're driving, though, Santa just looks down and like stares
Oh, my
at
God.
Pietari, and he gets this like twinkle in his eye when
That's
he's looking
the
at
best.
children. Oh my gosh, it's so creepy.
That's how you know he's taking his Cialis.
Oh.
All right.
Like it.
So they pull up to this evil runway, and a helicopter is landing, and he finds the dude's wife's hairdryer on the ground. So now he knows something is afoot.
Which is hilarious because the main guy's like, put that away. We need to be serious.
And he just tucks it into his
Put it in
pants
his
like it's a
pants.
goddamn revolver.
All right.
But he sniffs it first, and that's how he knows it's his wife's.
Mm-hmm.
Not because he recognizes the sight of it. He has to smell
Also,
it first.
They threw some shade on Russia when they were talking about the hairdryer because they're like, the hairdryer's missing. And I was like, well, that's advanced technology in Russia.
yeah, rude.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
So now it's Scrooge McHammond.
Getting out of the helicopter. Yeah.
Right. And he's asking where his Santa is.
Helicopters are so cool.
Hey guys, if you don't know what we're talking about with Flamecopter, go back and listen to our Thing episode.
I'm just talking about helicopters. I
In
like
general.
helicopters.
Yeah, they're amazing.
So now he says, I'll show you the money, you show me the Santa. So they get the Santa down and they roll him up. And
This is so creepy, though. 'cause
It really is.
Scrooge McHammond walks up to the cage, looks at what we think is Santa.
what we think is Santa.
Right, and
what
he's-
we've thought is Santa this whole time.
He's not Santa, guys.
not Santa.
And he looks around and he goes, everyone smile and make it look the nicest you can.
Don't cuss.
And don't cuss because that is just one of the elves.
That's one of his helpers.
Yeah, that's not Santa. And then that's when we see all the other helpers, which are just old naked men,
Yes.
rushing in on them at this creepy airport.
Well, there's a funny moment where the translator's like, he's saying it's one of the elves, not Santa, and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then turn around to see an old naked creepy dude staring at him.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all armed with like pickaxes and shovels and hatchets. Yeah.
And then one of them buries a pickaxe into Scrooge McHammond's head.
I know.
It
That's
was
fulfilling his childhood
insane.
wish.
Insane.
Yeah.
And then they all start running away because
do.
they're being chased by the
Oh,
elves.
and at the same time, Pietari goes up to the shed that says Big 24 on it.
That's a hanger, yeah.
It's
He
a
goes
hanger.
like, hanger
Son of a
24.
bitch.
Yeah.
And he tries to staple it closed,
This is
but
where
the door is way too big.
No. This is the moment he becomes a man.
Yeah,
is.
because he
He's
decides
like-
not to staple it
Because he
closed.
puts down Vupe, his little stuffed dog.
Yeah.
Yes,
that
he
he's been
does.
carrying
And
the
he
whole
goes
time.
through, he's like, Christmases came for me.
Right.
So I'm coming for it.
Oh, yeah, it's time.
And it's like this. All the shots are pretty good because
They really are.
It's like a lower level shot, and it's him looking up at the 24.
Yeah.
And he's like talking to his stuffed animal. He's like, "Fuck, I tried
you,
to get
Vupe."
out, but they're fucking pulling me back into Christmas."
Yeah.
I'm too young for this shit.
I love this movie.
Yeah, it's great.
I do like it. And the shots are really pretty. Like there's an overhead shot when they're driving with the Santa
Yeah, it
in the
looks
cage.
great.
It looks really great. Okay, so now they go into this giant hangar 24 and they see Santa horns in a giant block of ice.
Yeah, and all of the radiators, they see kids in potato sacks just
Yeah.
around the ice block of Santa.
Just waiting to get smacked.
Yeah.
And the adults finally come in, and they're starting to barricade the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And throw all the radiators.
Okay, I love this scene because they realize that Santa is still encased in ice, so he is, for the moment, trapped in the ice, right? And all the radiators are there to warm him up, to like de-thaw him quickly. And one of the, I think it's the dad of Pietara, says, "Turn off the radiators," and then Flamecopter doesn't, and he just starts
throwing
kicking
them.
radiators.
Yeah.
He's like, "I don't know how to turn them off."
I only know how to fly every conceivable type of aircraft.
So he
The
doesn't.
radiators are too advanced.
I have one skill, one specific set of skills.
So he kicks all the radiators, and then he starts building a pile of them in front of the door.
Right.
So the elf zombies can't get in.
Yeah, and the adults are all panicking.
They
Yeah.
are.
Juice's dad's looking for juice in the potato sacks.
Right, and he finds him, but
And Pietari's like, listen up, motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Well, no.
Pietara has become a man.
because the Matrix snow is starting to fall.
my
yeah.
And
God.
Pietari is realizing
Oh
that
my
he's not
God.
only Rambo, he's also the one.
Yes.
And then
he
he knows
says-
how to get them out of this.
And he says, "Snow." That shit is so funny.
And then he takes a snowflake and just flicks it away. Yeah. But he's
Watch The Matrix if you don't get that joke.
Yes.
That's Neo becoming the one and moving a bullet.
So
All right.
he turns to the adults and he's like, I know how we win.
yeah. He says, as long as the kids are here, the elves won't leave the shed.
Right.
It's
So
either me or Santa. Then he power move uncovers all the explosions and he says, and I suggest Santa.
Well, first he shoots the gun to get him to listen.
That's true.
Oh my God. But he does say, like you said, "Listen up, motherfuckers."
He's like, listen
Right.
up, motherfuckers.
I got a plan.
Can you fly helicopters? He's like, sure.
Yeah.
Go get in the fucking helicopter.
And so he goes outside and he leaves little trails of gingerbread. Like he's eating the gingerbread and saying, this gingerbread's yummy. Elf, don't you want it? And so
And they do.
They do.
But they do. They drop their pickaxes and shovels and axes or whatever they're holding and then just start munching on the gingerbread
Yeah, and
as
he
he
runs
makes
to
it to the helicopter. And I even said, I was like, what is he doing outside?
right. Surely he doesn't know how to
And
fly a
I know.
helicopter. This
Surely
ear guy.
this backwoods farmer guy cannot also fly a helicopter. But
But-
nay, I was wrong. He starts at the helicopter and
He
then
does.
hovers it above the hangar because there's a hole in the roof of the hangar. And this made no sense to me, but they have put all of the kids into a big net.
Yeah.
And the dad who got juice out of a potato sack is putting juice back into a potato sack
Yeah.
because
Throws them in.
apparently it won't work without all of them in the helicopter.
All the two dads are like debating the kid.
Yeah.
And they're like, are you sure? He's like, put all the kids in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it doesn't work if the
without
juice
all
is
of them.
loose.
And then Pietara, like,
Grabs onto the cargo bag.
he grabs onto the cargo
Fucking
bag.
Bane style
And
from
Rambo's
Dark Knight
on.
Returns.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so the master plan is to further endanger the lives of all these children.
Yes.
And then Pietari drops his rifle and he's just like, peace out, bitches.
And then goes through the ceiling. Oh my God, it's
Merry
insane.
fucking Christmas.
Holy shit.
It is pretty awesome,
It's
though.
excellent.
Yeah.
So Pietari.
It is because
It is a cinematic masterpiece.
it is because he's dragging so Flamecopter is now flying the helicopter, fully achieving Flamecopter status.
Yeah.
Under the helicopter is a cargo bag full of potato sacked children, and Pietari is hanging on to the outside of it like, woohoo!
It's like he's in Neverending Story on the back of that dragon.
He's like on the back of Falcor.
Right. Yeah, Falcor.
Absolutely. Pietara's on the outside of the cargo bag, and he's got a walkie-talkie talking to the helicopter guy, and he's like,
I don't know what the fuck we're doing.
and Pietara's like, shut the fuck up, man. We're doing it.
Right.
Over.
Well, and while all of this is happening, the dad and Juice's dad are drilling holes into the Santa Claus ice and sticking dynamite.
Yeah.
Pietari's like, you got to trust our other fathers.
Right. He says,
Stop bitching, Flamecopter.
Yeah.
Over.
looks like we've been naughty.
And then Pietara is hanging from this cargo bag, swinging wildly under the helicopter.
Because Flamecopter actually says, Fiddlesticks, we need a new plan. And so they decide, they make a U-turn, and that's when the kids just flail all
they don't
about.
make the U-turn. They look down.
Yeah.
All elves are chasing them on foot.
There are so many naked men running
There's just
through this
dong
woods.
everywhere.
Yes, it's
bouncing
insane.
around.
I'm pretty sure
Right,
this was done by CG, though.
CG dong.
It's got to be CG dong.
CGD.
CGD.
It's advanced technology.
Hey, baby, you want some CGD?
I feel like that's better for anxiety than CBD oil.
Computer generated dong?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that just porn, though?
It is.
So when Pietari notices all of the elf
That it's
dong,
working. That's
he's
not
like,
working.
They're, hey,
working.
Flamecopter, over, copy. You need to treat these like reindeer, head towards the pins.
Yeah.
And he does.
And he's like, okay, 5-year-old.
And that's when they swing around. And dude, he's holding on so tight to that
Yes.
cargo bag. It's so funny.
But the music that's playing is so triumphant. And this is when I thought about Falcor.
yeah. He should have like Rose and Jack on the Titanic put his arms out and been like, I'm flying.
He's going to do that in a minute.
Wait for it, Jen.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We will get there.
All right. And he says, so they
This
get over.
movie's insane.
It really is. In the best way. So they get over the reindeer pit and they realize that they've got to open the door to the pit.
Because the elves are coming.
Okay,
They
so
are.
earlier in the movie, did we
Some of
establish
them already did. That's not all
Oh my
snow
God.
they're running on.
Oh.
Earlier in the
Sorry.
movie, it established that this is a pin for reindeer that we were expecting, but it's also electrified.
Yeah,
so they
yeah,
can't
yeah.
escape.
Yes. So
I'm
it can
not sure
hold
we mentioned
humans.
that, so
I don't think we mentioned it, but now they're like, we can put the elves in it.
Yeah.
We just need to lure them in with all the kidnapped children.
Right.
But the pin is not open.
It's
No.
not. So I've got to Bruce Willis myself and open the gate.
He Hans Gruber's off of the cargo
He
bag.
does, and it's
Pietara does.
And what did you say? Did he just commit suicide?
Yeah, because it looks like, well, no, before that moment, he's like radioing back and forth the Flamecopter guy, and he goes,
I have to go.
I've got to open it.
And Flamecopter guy's like, we can't land here. We got to get a new plan. And he's like, tell my wife I love her. And he's like, you're 10. What the fuck is
Sorry,
going on?
I meant dad. Tell my dad.
Tell my
I love
dad
him.
what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he commits
Jumps
suicide.
But he catches himself on a wire like a tightrope walker.
Yeah, he does. It's amazing.
It's like feet away from where he jumped.
Yes.
Too. So I think he was just having some fun. You know
What?
He's about to die. You know.
He thinks he's about to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he climbs down the pole, right?
The North Pole.
No. So he climbs down the pole.
And he opens the gate.
Yes.
And he sees a bunch of old men running at him
Right.
naked, and he whispers, "Daddy." And it's as weird
Oh
as it sounds.
my God. I forgot about that.
And
Yeah.
it's slow,
Holy
it's slow
shit.
motion snow again, and they're stampeding Santas. Then we cut to the dad in Santa warehouse.
Yeah, and they have just sawed off the Santa Claus horns and are putting them in the trunk.
Yeah.
Or the truck bed.
Right.
It's a power move.
It is a power
But also
move.
they've drilled holes all over the ice and put dynamite sticks all around Santa.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's gonna
detonated.
be a, yeah, they're like, it's gonna be a merry fucking Christmas.
They do a lot
Actual
of Christmas
dialogue from this movie.
Right.
What Mikey just said. And then Juice's dad starts driving Pietara's dad away, and Pietara's dad's in the truck bed
Yeah.
with the horns.
sitting right in between the horns.
Yeah,
Right.
with the detonator. Yeah.
Picturesquely.
So then it blows up huge, and the driver, Juice's dad, goes, and a happy new year.
Yeah, happy bloody new year.
Yeah.
Oh, my
and then
God.
one of the dialogue we have to talk about is they're like, you ever wondered how Santa got everywhere all at once? Because they blew him up.
Yeah.
Oh, into a zillion
God.
pieces.
Yes.
Yeah. There is some Die Hard-esque dialogue in
So
here.
then,
So as the Santa Claus actually is exploding, it cuts back to Pietara, who he's waiting for his old man elf death, and then you see the explosion in the background, and you see the old man just stop right in front of him.
Right. Oh, where are our clothes?
And Flamecopter up there goes, ha, son of a bitch, he did. Or whatever he says.
And then crashes all the children into a mountainside.
Mind you, this man is still dangling 80 kids in a cargo bag.
All in sacks.
In freezing degree weather. This movie's insane.
It really is. All right. And so now the sun's up.
Yeah.
Because of the plot.
Yeah.
And because the sun has come up on his manhood.
That's what it is.
Right.
He has become a man like it has become a new day.
Yes.
So his dad gets out of the truck and walks up to Pietara, and Pietara's like,
Hey, Dad, I captured all the elves.
I put some pants on too.
Do you want some of the cigar?
But the dad says basically, well, you're a real man now, and like puts his arm around him, and that's their happy ending.
And then it starts zooming out, and then they're like, 155 Santas.
Yeah. How much
is
this
that
cost?
worth?
oh yeah, and then it's like if they're $87,500 each, it's $16.8 million.
Yeah, and Juice is able to do that math so quickly in his head.
Not only is Juice
terrible.
A mullet wearer, a horrible person, one earring haver,
a bully.
He's also a math genius.
Yeah. All right. And so there we see kind of a recreation of the scene where they were talking about how much they could get for the reindeer.
Right.
And now they're going to sell humans.
Right. So they have gone from reindeer butcherers to human slave traders.
Yes.
Well, it zooms out of the pen and it goes to black, and we all thought it was going to be credits.
Yeah. And we see 312 days till Christmas.
Yeah, 312 till Christmas.
And then a gross drain with some water draining.
Yes, they put them all in a shower and they're like hosing them off.
If you thought we were done seeing naked old men, you're wrong.
You're sadly mistaken.
We have a shower full of them.
Yeah, getting hosed down.
Yes.
And just standing there confused.
Yeah.
We were too.
Yeah.
I was sitting. I still don't know why you were standing.
Power play.
And then it cuts back to that screen where it's black and it shows the number of days and it goes 24 days till Christmas. And then it shows them training Santas in a what looks like an airplane hangar. And it's Pietara's dad with Pietara on his knee wearing a Santa cap, like hugging him and giving him a gift, dragging him in front of all the other elves.
To model performing happiness.
And they're all in white, holding white child-sized dolls with a white present, like
and creepily smiling.
Yeah, like learning how to be mall Santas.
One of them throws the boy on the floor, the doll on the floor, and picks up a present. And then the Juice's dad comes up and is like, no.
Then he gets electrocuted.
Juice's dad, who's holding a gun.
Right.
It is like this is very
so strange.
This is something we would never do in an American film because it does look a lot like slave training.
Yes.
So in Finland, congrats on not having a horrible history so you can do stuff like this because we couldn't here in America.
No.
Anyway, so they're slave trading small Santas.
Yeah.
And then he gets to the end of the line and the one on the end of the line is doing it perfectly. So they give him his Santa graduation cap.
They do by moving the jingle bell to the other side of his head.
Is it left to right or right to left?
I don't remember. I just know they all throw their Santa hats up in the air.
At the very end, yeah.
And then it cuts to one day till Christmas.
Yes.
And then all of them have graduated and are dressed like Santas, but also getting boxed up into boxes.
Yeah, that say rare exports.
Yes.
They wrote the name of the movie.
Yeah. And it says
In
live
English.
cargo on it.
Yeah, it does. Because they boxed up the Santas. I think it's actually 24 days till Christmas because they boxed up the Santas to ship off to unsuspecting
Tanzania.
malls.
It was Tanzania.
No, there was one for every country.
I know, but that one was going to Tanzania. Yeah.
I think this is
100
Finland's master plan to destroy all nations by unleashing murderous Santas that have been trained to look like mall Santas.
No, I think it was their plan to unleash joy.
Those bastards.
It is the Finnish way. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Flamecopter also is piloting the cargo plane.
God.
yeah.
Flamecopter can fly everything. Yeah. So, they are loading them into what looks like the biggest Harrier. It's like the spruce goose, but it's metal.
Right.
And
Just filled with Santas.
Flamecopter's standing there like he just graduated from Top Gun, about to fly this all around the world.
And I think he salutes the Santas, too.
I think he does. And that's the movie.
And that's the movie.
Roll credits?
Yeah. So having talked about it now, what did you guys think?
Christmas classic.
Christmas came early in this podlog.
Honestly, guys, so did I. It was amazing. This movie
all
is
that
so
old elf
good.
dog.
Yeah, it was so good. It
was really good.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
I mean, it's batshit insane.
It is.
And at the end, all of these evil elves are sold as slaves. But there's some lessons to be learned about grieving your mother.
It's got some heartwarming moments in
It does.
You know?
It's quite good.
And it's very like kid adventure fun too, you know? Now, I will say, I really wanted to see giant evil Santa fuck some shit up. And I
did
wanted
too.
to see some old elf carnage. Not necessarily old elf naked carnage, but I wanted to see some shit.
Some more murders and stuff.
Yeah,
I think that would have been good.
Yeah. I
But-
also wanted to see pants.
Yes, a lot more pants I wanted to see. in
For a
this
rated
movie.
R movie, there wasn't violence really.
No, it was rated R from the old man dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think it like in Finland, like overseas, it was probably like PG and they did it as like a kids movie.
I do know that we in America are a lot more hung up on that
That's
than
what I'm
other
talking-
countries. So
We're a
yeah,
lot more
honestly,
hung
it
up
could
Hung up
be.
on it? Hung?
You
Yeah.
guys got the
Got
point.
it, yeah.
Let's do this. So let's do box office.
All right.
All right. So what do you guys think the budget for this movie was?
$3 million?
It was roughly the equivalent of how much money it would make selling a bunch of
With
old naked
Santa.
elves.
It was $87.5 thousand.
Is that
Really?
That's why they used that number.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
No.
Oh.
The budget of this movie was.
You got us.
That was a real lump of coal
Yeah,
fat.
I know.
You're welcome. So the budget for this movie was 1.8 million euros, which is roughly $2 million.
Oh.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me that it was. Well, I don't know what budgets for the movies in Finland normally are. It looks good.
Yeah, it does.
It looks
was
like a good
really
movie.
well
It
made.
holds up well, too.
So I don't mean to say it's a low budget movie. By our standards, it is, because $2 million is not a very big budget for most of the movies we do. But it looks better than a lot of the $2 million movies we've seen.
And I will also say I am glad that they spent their money on making the movie look great instead of trying to spend a lot of money. I said I wanted a lot more carnage, but I'm glad they didn't waste their budget trying to do that.
Yeah.
So, and making the overall movie not look that
Sure.
great. So yeah, I think it looks really great.
And it actually made money. It made just over $4 million in theaters.
That's worldwide though, right?
Yeah, it is worldwide. It didn't do great domestic,
Yeah.
but international it did
Domestic
3.7
Finland or
million.
domestic us?
Domestic us.
Us. Yeah. I mean, Americans just don't go to see foreign films as
No.
much as they should.
Absolutely not. But it made its money back.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they spent on marketing it, but it made its money back.
Yeah.
And I think it's got a bit of a cult following, so I bet it's made.
It definitely has.
Yeah, it stood the test of time.
It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah. So Jen, do you have any fun facts for
I
us?
do have some fun facts. I don't have that many. When it's a movie that's kind of smaller and less known, there's just not
Sure.
that much written about it. This was based on a 2003 short film called Rare Exports Inc. And that
Okay.
became really popular on the internet. And so they made a sequel short film called Rare Exports, The Official Safety Instructions, which is probably like smile here, wash behind your ears.
Yeah,
kind of
probably.
thing.
Yeah.
So both of those short films were really popular. And I think that's how they were able to get funding the way
Awesome.
they were. So that was the inspiration for him. Brian Green's passport, that's the brother of Brian Austin Green.
Who's in this movie?
Yes, the number on his passport is pi. Do you guys know the digits of pi?
Oh, was it? Yeah, 3.141, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what that's it.
Awesome.
This did pretty well with critics. It was described as an anti-Christmas classic
Anti-Christmas classic. Okay.
and also anti-Christmas classic like Gremlins
Oh.
and A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay, yeah.
I think we kind of have a type for our Christmas
I
movies.
can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I wouldn't call those anti-Christmas, but I would put it in the same category as Gremlins and Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's how I found this film, was that it got a lot of really good critic buzz.
It did,
People
yeah.
wrote a lot about it.
Yeah.
Roger Ebert's quote that I found from his review was an R-rated Santa Claus origin story crossed with The Thing.
Yeah. That nails it. Yeah.
Yeah. So why do you think I found that
Yeah.
movie?
Ebert knows what he's talking about.
He does, yeah. Okay, so the actor who played Pietari, his name, I'm probably going to say it wrong, is Oni Tamila. And he was also in a movie called Big Game, where he is in the wilderness trying to prove his manhood. And he runs across the U.S. president and
What?
saves the U.S. president.
What?
And that U.S. president in this movie, Big Game, is played by Samuel L. Jackson.
What?
Isn't that insane?
That is awesome.
I've seen that movie.
Have you?
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's okay.
Probably about
It's
as
no
good as
Rare
it sounds.
Exports, but
Yeah, but what is Rare Exports?
I know.
you All right, and those are my fun facts.
Thank you for your fun facts, Jen.
Well, you're very welcome.
Let's do the scary scale.
Hey, listeners, our scary scale is a ranking we use to say how scary we think a movie is. It's not the quality of the film, it's how scared we were today when we watched it. Our one example is Ghostbusters. Our 10 example is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Todd, what you got?
I give it a 1. It's not at all scary. There are some ominous moments, and if you're afraid of old man Dick, listen, I get it. This movie you should not watch. Everyone else, if you're okay with old man Dick, watch this movie. It's fucking rad. Mikey?
I give it a 1.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is definitely something you can watch with your kids.
Except for all the dick.
Yeah.
If you're an adult, and they are adults as well.
So
This is something you can watch with your adult children.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 1 too. I don't think it's scary. But yeah, you're right. Like the Santa Claus is a little freaky at times.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's
They're
not
one of the
really-
elves.
And I don't think it's really trying to be scary. You know, it's
No.
trying to be fun, and it is really fun.
It is.
And I want to remind you too, this is not a ranking of the quality of it.
No.
We all really loved this movie. We
Absolutely.
just didn't find it that scary.
Right.
Although I would still put it under the horror umbrella.
Yeah.
Because there are lots of horror elements in it.
Yeah.
Like murderous Santas
Yeah.
and elves.
And, dads who are like, we need to cut this body up immediately so we don't get in trouble.
Exactly. The Dexter murder scene alone, I think, puts it in horror
right.
category.
And roping your friend in on, accessory after the fact.
And then when he lives, being like, well, I guess we'll just do a ransom situation.
Oh my God.
And then enslave an entire race of
Who knew the finishes were so quick to jump to criminality?
He committed so many felonies in such a small time
It's
frame.
like 10 minutes.
And he didn't even do anything.
So this week we watched Rare Exports. What are we watching next week?
Well,
wait, it's listener request
It
time.
is listener request time. Yeah. Hey guys. So our theme for this month was holiday horror. We got a lot of great suggestions, and the winner is Krampus.
Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah, from 2015, starring Dreamboat star of Jennifer's List, Adam Scott. So I'm real excited about that.
Love Adam Scott.
I
He's
do
great.
too.
I like Krampus.
I do too. Have you seen? You haven't seen it?
No, of course I have not. No.
That's right. Yeah, it's good. So watch Krampus for next week.
So thank you guys for participating in our listener request this month. You guys were awesome. A lot of great movies were suggested. I guess I don't really want to watch any of them, but so the time has come for Mikey to test his accent and reading skills.
Oh, man, it's been a couple weeks.
I know, against this week's awesome 5-star review. And this 5-star review comes from Libertina.
Ooh.
And her title is Starting Again from the Beginning. And it says, Mikey, how about a super southern accent?
Can you handle that?
Well, I do declare that I can handle that.
Uh-oh.
I started listening from the beginning again, and I love these goofballs. Sometimes serious, sometimes silly. Always awesome.
Making me want a mint julep.
5 stars.
Oh my God.
Aw, thank you. That was sweet.
Libertina, thank you so much for that awesome 5-star review. And
Yes,
guys,
thank you.
And guys, if you want your 5-star review to be read, leave us a 5-star review and we will read it on the podcast.
Please with an accent.
And it really helps people find the show. Leaving a review, rating, and leaving a review both really help people find the show. So please do that. We've had a lot of amazing growth recently, and we'd love for that to continue.
I wonder what an old naked elf would sound like reading a review.
Well, let me get naked.
No.
I'm a character actor.
I'm a method actor, Mikey. We're a member of the Modern Horrors Podcast Network, guys. So if you want to listen to us in their feed, cool. You're going to get their show, the Modern Horrors Podcast, on death, dying, and other things, and the lovely Final Girls. But if you want to get us 2 days earlier, listen to us in our feed, because our episodes come out there on Monday, not on Wednesdays. And if you want to follow us on social, it's at Horror Virgin, and we are at horrorvirgin.com on the website if you want to look at Jen's blog or the merch store or stuff like that. Mikey, if you want to reach out to him on social, he's at mrandolph24. Jen is at Jen Ferratu with 2 N's.
Yep.
And I am Todd J. Awesome.
With 1 J.
Yeah. So guys, if you want to help us financially support the show, please do by going to patreon.com/horrorvirgin, signing up for one of the levels there. A lot of great stuff at a lot of the great levels. And it helps us get new gear and stuff like that. We really appreciate it. But if you can't financially support the show, we understand. And that's why we give you a place to get daily free content.
That's
that
right.
place is called the Horror Virgin Facebook group. So join the Horror Virgin Facebook group. We have daily free content. We have almost 500 people in there right now. It's
Yeah.
amazing. You guys are the true believers, and we love every one of you.
And that's going to be it from us, everybody. We see a whole herd of naked old man elves running towards
we gotta
us.
go.
We got to get the fuck out of
we
here.
gotta go.
We are packed up in our sacks, and we are about to fly out of here. But Flamecopter's saying we got to get out of here.
Oh, God, let's go.
Santa's about to explode. Thank you for joining us today.
I'm a 10-year-old. Hop on my sack.
Whoa, Mikey, I don't want to hop on that sack. I'm just going to say that right
shit,
now.
Oh, my God. Oh, my kids didn't
Well,
hear
that's
that.
it for us here.
Yeah.
at
That's going to be it
Horror.
from us, everybody. It's going to a little hot in here. All right. I'm Jen.
I'm like,
And I'm your Horror Virgin Todd, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Have a
motherfuckers.
great Christmas seasons.
Yeah. Bye.
There's a lot of dick in that movie.
You're welcome.
Dick nerds.